Yorks.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all, I got to be old school to remember Monroe York at York Store, right past East Lincoln Street School, gobbling like a turkey on his radio commercials.
Yeah, you got to be more than old school. I think you got to be older than that to remember that.
He was
So-
a neat guy. He was our neighbor when we lived on Grundy Street.
Yes,
sort of.
yes, ma'am.
The shop.
Monroe York had that little grocery store. I think it's a H.G. Hill now. Is
Piggly
it not
Wiggly,
H.G.
maybe.
Hill? Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, I think.
Piggly Wiggly, right across from Dameron's restaurant.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Speaking of Damerons, they do such great things at Christmas.
Oh, yeah,
Have you
they
noticed
do.
what all they do?
they feed a whole
They're
lot
amazing.
of folks. And I guess I should remind you that we're just plain living here. I'm John Gray,
I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
and it's Thanksgiving week, and we're thankful.
I
Yes.
am thankful to, just be alive and
Peggy's
be sitting
thankful
here
that she's
between you
walking.
guys. All right. I was trying to be thankful I was walking.
Yeah.
After midnight. Are you still walking? Well, I know she's walking after midnight because we text each other about 2 in the morning most
Sometimes,
of the
yeah.
time when we're both up in pain.
John is creative, and he's always written a low coup or something. And I'm not terribly creative when I wake up in the middle of the night,
Let's see.
but I do wake up. In
My
the middle
wife,
of the
my
night.
wife, and my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law went to South Carolina to see Blanche McClure
Yeah.
this
That was
weekend.
great.
And Beth and Alva Clay, that's Beth's husband. And just thinking of Blanche and thinking of you. And I was sitting next to Faye Whitt in church Sunday, and who I love dearly, Miss Faye. And thinking about you ladies, I wrote this. Daily dressed as if she's off to work, hair and face done to a T. Pep back in her step, thanks to a new knee. Mind is sharp, facts and wit still there. She'll never be old enough not to care. Proudly, she's a charter member of the Not Quite Wilted Lilies Club.
That's cute.
So,
It is.
Not
That's
quite
good. That's a good
Wilted
one.
Lilies Club.
Yeah.
So for all you ladies out there who, and Elon Musk, his mother is on a commercial for cosmetics, and Maeve is her name, and she is the one that looks at, she is absolutely strikingly beautiful
She is quite
for 80,
gorgeous.
whatever she is. And she looks at the camera and says, someone says there's they're old enough, you can be old enough not to care. I wonder what age that is.
Yeah.
As she puts on a beautiful coat and starts walking across Fifth Avenue in New York.
She's,
You know,
she's amazing.
When you were talking about age and women and such, you remember our friend Tyke Willis?
Oh, yeah.
You know, he told me one time when we were living in Atlanta. He said, "Fuller, I don't know what's wrong with me. All of a sudden, I feel attracted to women who are in their 30s."
Oh.
I said, "Well, Tyke, it could be because you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
You think that might be it, you know?"
Might have something to do with it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and you know, and I find myself now. I always remember Tyke when I think of this, but you know, I kind of think women that are in their 60s and older are attractive as well. So you know.
Well, you can, no matter what your age is, you can take good care of yourself through life.
You can try to.
Or try to, and there's sort of a inner glow that comes out of people who are still enjoying things.
That's
That,
important.
you know, you walk around with a scowl on your face and pain in your eyes. Ain't many people gonna take sympathy for it. But you know, a lot of people, no matter what their size or what's going on with them, still have that vitality for life.
You're right.
And that's what makes people beautiful. And that's what makes this week a beautiful week is we all get an opportunity to give thanks for that.
Oh, yeah.
And we should do it
And
more
we should
often.
do it. We should do
wake
it.
up every day and be thankful.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I am.
I am too.
Actually, I am too, Peggy.
Did you go see My Fair Lady?
I went to see My Fair Lady last week, and I thought it was absolutely outstanding. And I know you
thought
went
they
this
did a
past
great job.
weekend.
Yeah.
Samantha Terrell Waters. She could be in
Yeah.
She could be in Hollywood. She could be on Broadway.
Easy. Yeah. They did a good job.
Beautiful, beautiful young lady, and a beautiful job done there. So,
I was impressed. I'm not always
how do you
impressed.
like a turkey sandwich?
How do I like a turkey sandwich?
Do you like a turkey sandwich?
I like a turkey sandwich.
How do you like your turkey sandwich? What do you put on it?
it? I just put turkey and a little mayonnaise and lettuce, maybe tomato.
Maybe tomato.
Yeah.
Fuller?
I don't like turkey.
He doesn't like turkey sandwiches.
No.
Mine is rye bread with caraway seeds. I like, people advertise rye bread, but they don't.
They don't buy
The
it.
caraway seeds aren't in it
Yeah.
anymore much. People don't like seeds, I guess.
Yeah.
But rye bread with caraway, mayonnaise on the bottom, turkey, garlic salt, dill pickle, and mustard.
That's your
That's
favorite?
me. Andrew, last night I asked Andrew, and Andrew's one of the people who likes dressing on his.
Oh,
No
cool.
kidding.
He said, yeah, if there's a little dressing left, I'll put some dressing on there, and if there's
Yeah.
some gravy, I'll moisten it up, put a little gravy on it.
You know, actually, I'm not crazy about turkey sandwiches, but that sounds pretty good. Way to go, Andrew.
Yeah. And some people put cranberry sauce on it.
Yeah.
So it's just, but it's always something that people look forward to after you wake up from your nap, when you've gone to sleep, after the dinner, while watching one of your favorite teams play football. Or maybe not a favorite team, that's why you went to sleep.
I'm glad you brought that topic up today, because we've got two creative people in the audience. I'm looking at Winston Brooks and Lyle Russell
Yeah.
from the rec department. And so we'll give them a heads up, and they can creatively think of how they would like a turkey sandwich.
How they like
before-
their turkey sandwich.
before they
What do you
get
call
it,
it? Dressing or stuffing? What do you?
I call it dressing, because at my house we never stuffed. For it to be stuffing, it has to go inside, the bird.
the bird.
Yeah.
Now, a dressing turns into a stuffing by stuffing.
By stuffing it
If you
into
don't
the
stuff it
food.
in there, if it's just in a pan,
just
it's just
dressing.
dressing.
And I always have to say this, and I want John to tell us one more time the story of how you and Fran cooked your first turkey when you
Fran
first
and
got
I
married.
cooked our first turkey, and we were going to make some dressing after we cooked the turkey, and which means chopping up all the gizzards and giblets and all of
Yeah.
that stuff to make gravy and roux and all of that. And we were upset because we didn't have any of that stuff.
Oh, you just left it in the.
And
You
Mom
forgot to
and
get
Fran
it out.
Fran called my mother, or we called Dot. I forget who we called. It's been 44 years ago, 45 years ago. And I guess it might have been Mom said, well, did you look inside the turkey? Well, why would we have done that?
Yeah.
So you open the turkey up from the business end. You look inside there, and there's a bag full of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So things
Yeah.
that you wouldn't eat unless they were mixed into something else.
Right.
Pull it out, chop it up. We ended up having some dressing.
Yeah.
But, it was just funny story.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Who would know?
Who would know? Yeah.
Unless you've done it, why
Unless
would you?
you've
Why
done
would
it,
you think to
you
look
know.
inside the butt of a turkey
Well, I grew up in
for anything?
I grew up in
Right.
the country, so nobody thought about killing a chicken or a turkey and throwing the stuff back in it. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know to do that. I knew they cooked those
Well, that's just the way they can
giblets.
package it at the
Giblets?
grocery store.
Giblets?
Giblets.
giblets.
Giblet gravy.
It's always been
Just
well.
give me some turkey.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Just give
That's
me
right.
some turkey.
We've got something that Philip wants to play for us too, by the way.
Do we?
Put together. Yes.
Philip, do you have a Thanksgiving special for us?
Yeah.
All right, we're
Let's
going to
watch
bring
it.
that to you
This
right
is Charlie.
now.
This is the explanation of what Thanksgiving really is, and it's a Charlie Brown.
Charlie
done
Brown
by
knows.
Linus.
Linus
Linus.
is going to tell
Linus
us.
is the man.
Are we going to have a prayer? It's Thanksgiving, you know. Before we're served, shouldn't we say grace?
In the year 1621, the Pilgrims held their first Thanksgiving feast. They invited the great Indian chief, Massasoit, who brought 90 of his brave Indians and a great abundance of food. Governor William Bradford and Captain Miles Standish were honored guests. Elder William Brewster, who was a minister, said a prayer that went something like this. We thank God for our homes and our food and our safety in a new land. We thank God for the opportunity to create a new world for freedom and justice.
Amen.
I love it.
Very good.
I love it.
You know, Charles Schulz, what a genius.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as still holds our attention today, the stuff that he did and was in the newspaper for years and years and years and years, and then went on to the television for this kind of stuff right here.
And his
just brilliant.
stories always had a moral. They always caught your heart. I loved it.
Very much so, very much. And it was just, you know, there needs to be a point to what you say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of us just babble on, but sometimes you need to get to a finish line. And, you know, that there's something a point you're really trying to get across. And that's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Being a closer is not an easy thing.
You're right.
Not an easy thing.
It's easier to start than to close.
Just talking about being a closer, we'll have a little something later on the show. Daniel Hill's here today, and he came all the way from Houston,
Texas.
Houston.
And he's very creative.
He's a
Just
wonderful
from what I've
young
listened
man.
to.
He and my son Jacob went through school together, and Daniel is out there doing good in Houston, doing that good work with young people, and he's a writer and a teacher, and maybe even got a little preaching going on inside of him. But I'm glad to have Daniel in with us today. He's here to see his mom and brother during Thanksgiving, and we're thankful for that. We're thankful you're here. We'll be back after these messages, and hopefully you'll be thankful for what we have to bring to you.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party. But things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm pleased to have joining us on the set now my good friend Winston Brooks, who's the Tullahoma Community Coordinator, and this is also Doodlebop, if you have not seen her before. And Winston requested that Doodlebop be on the set with him today, and so I complied. So
I've been upstaged.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, I don't care either. You know,
I feel very honored.
Yeah.
She's a sweet girl.
So, Winston, I forgot to ask you why you're here today, but you are always a wealth of knowledge, as we've established over the years. So, did you have time to think about, do you even like turkey sandwiches?
So, at my house, we do vegetarian Thanksgiving.
No kidding,
so
no
we
turkey.
Have a meatless roast, yeah, no turkey. I mean, we have people that eat turkey, but we don't eat the turkey. I mean, we have lots of family over, so we have other family members that bring turkey. But so we do meatless roast, and we do meatless dressing, and but then everything else is pretty much already ready to go.
So how do you do meatless roast?
Well, the one that we like to eat is made out of a product called corn. That's Quorn, and it's actually a fungi.
Right.
And so there's a lot of research on fungus now that it's really an amazing life form. It's have survived for millions of years on this planet, but it also has a lot of nutrition properties that people are just now beginning to understand.
Well, I am so glad I asked you that question, because that was something different and quite interesting. Have you always been a vegetarian?
Well, no, I haven't. I've been a vegetarian since 1996. And so pushing, 25, 28 years or so, I'm not sure. But it's just a very easy thing to transition into, particularly today with all the different, what they call transition foods. The garden burgers, the Morningstar Farms products, it's corn product. I mean, there's so many different foods out there now that it's easy to make a different choice than going to the butcher shop.
So everybody in your family is vegetarian?
Yes.
Even your children?
Even the children. And so children are naturally vegetarian.
Really?
Sure, until they're 6, 7, a year old, 2 years old. Typically, you're not feeding them solid, meat foods. Right. They're all, but mostly vegetarian.
So they don't eat hamburgers and fast foods?
No, but my children have been enjoying this new Beyond Meat burger.
Right.
They've been loving that. So that's a pretty neat one. That's the new meatless burger that's being sold in a lot of the restaurants now. But there's always been the Boca burgers and the other garden burgers and things like that, made out of different soy products, black beans, that type of thing. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's great.
You are such an interesting guy, Winston.
Well, you're very kind. I appreciate the encouragement.
I have known you forever, but I did not know that. Well, that is quite interesting. And I would imagine that being a vegetarian, you can eat whatever you want in that food group and not gain weight. Is that fair to say?
Certainly one of the main reasons that people become vegetarian is for the health benefits. And but as I get a little older, I have to not consume quite as much. But you're definitely not taking in as many calories.
Right.
Yeah, so that's great. Absolutely.
So why are you here today?
Well, I'll tell you, we are here today to talk about a couple of activities that are going on in Tullahoma. One of those is to be the 26th year for Old Town Christmas.
Okay.
And so we want to invite people to come out after the Friday parade. On Tuesday, December 10th, is Old Town Christmas. And it's just a great celebration of music in the community. And we'll have First United Methodist Church will be the venue for the band ensembles. Mm-hmm. Down at South Jackson, they'll have the singers. And spread around the other historic buildings in the churches, which is First Christian Church, St. Barnabas, and Mount Zion. There'll be other music activities that people can go and enjoy. And Ann Baldwin, her singers will be out there. And unfortunately, we usually get to enjoy Peggy Burton's voice students, but she is taking the year off this year, unfortunately. But I'm glad to hear that she's doing well and getting around.
Right.
So that's December 10th. On December 2nd, we have a little more city business that's going on. There's a public meeting at City Hall at 4 p.m., and it's for the Community Development Block Grant, also known as CDBG. Mm-hmm. So we're asking for community input. If anyone has any ideas about how this money can be spent on the types of projects that include housing redevelopment, like removing blight, fixing up dilapidated houses, drainage, public health and safety, and projects that fall along those types of activities. So that's money that comes from the state. It's federal dollars that comes through the state, and You could also, the other thing too is like water line extensions, sewer
Right.
extensions. Of course, that would include our partners at TUA. But we are asking anyone to come down December 2nd that might have some comments or thoughts on how to use those funds.
You guys don't start winding down when it gets to December, do you? Just keep on.
Right, we're all planning, and when we come back, then we'll kind of get into budget season. So our fiscal year ends June 30th. So about April, we'll be right in the midst of getting a new budget for the 2021 fiscal year.
Right.
And we got a lot of exciting projects that are happening, and so if everything goes as planned, we'll be seeing a new police station. We've got some new parks on the way.
The new police station, now that's, what is the progress on that? Where are we in that project?
We are in the construction bidding right now. So they are down to a couple of finalists in the construction, or the contractors. And as soon as we can nail down a contractor with the right price, I think you'll see some building happening pretty soon.
And do you have any idea how long the project should last once construction?
I think once it starts, it's about a 6 to 8 months process.
Okay,
so if we can get it nailed down, and I'm not intimately familiar with the details, but I know that they're very close to selecting a contractor. Once that's done, then they're going to move pretty fast. So I would say in probably 2021 or late 20, we might see a new police station.
Okay.
So that's going to be exciting. It's going to really develop that area behind City Hall,
right,
and clean that up, and we can begin to see that development. And we've got the new greenway that goes down below that hill there now. So there's a little bit of development going on, a lot of little nooks and crannies if you look. That's great.
Absolutely.
We got our Tullahoma Area Economic Development Corporation continuing to work and bringing in new retail and other development projects. And we've got that new apartment building that's going up over there by the airport. That's going to bring on 100 units pretty soon of kind of mid to high-end apartment living,
right,
which is going to be great. Which once that happens, then you may see other retail kind of come on around that corner at Cedar Lane. So that's exciting for the 2020 area, and it sort of begins to fit in with the streetscapes plan that was adopted by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen a few weeks ago. But other projects that are going on, we've got one thing I do want to mention. Let me back up for Old Town Christmas. If you do come out to Old Town Christmas, we do want to ask you to bring a new unwrapped toy for the fire department's toy drive. So please do that. We're also got a tourism project that we're working on. So we've got a tourism council in town that Mayor Curley initiated about 2 years ago, and we've been working on some projects, getting a slow start, but we got a grant, and we are working on a tourism guide. And so the first step is collecting photography, great high-res images of our community. And so we want to ask the public, we are working with a photographer, but if the community has any photos that they would like to send in, please contact me at City Hall and email me those photos, and we would be glad to add those to our collection. And we've got a project to try to complete by June. And basically it's going to have a tourism guide that's rack card size that's going to be down in Lynchburg Visitor Center, and then also out to the interstate visitor centers. And so, we're just trying to, there's a lot of people, a lot of interest in Tullahoma.
Right.
And so we just want to continue to try and capitalize on that. And we also have, finally, we released a sneak peek to the downtown property owners the other day about a new logo. So you'll see some branding coming online there in the spring. Again, just trying to let people know that they've arrived downtown, and maybe we can get some of that traffic going to Lynchburg to stop a while and let them know they've come to the downtown Tullahoma Arts and Entertainment District.
Winston, a moment ago when I was asking you about the police station, you said, well, I'm not, just totally familiar with all those details. And since then, you have given us information about 6 or 7 projects that you seem to be quite well knowledgeable about. And so anybody that thinks he has an easy job, folks, Winston does not have a cushy job. He has to do a lot of things, and he actually does them well. And
thank you very much. We have a great team, great team, great leadership, and it's a great community. Just trying to make Tullahoma better every day.
Winston, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Always good to see you.
Thanks for bringing Doodlebop.
We try to make our guests happy, and if that's what you like. Doodlebop's always on the set with me, folks, but she's usually in a bag off camera. But Winston requested she join him today, and so we did that because it's Thanksgiving, for goodness sakes.
Excellent.
All right, we are going to take a quick commercial break. Stay with us. We've got lots more to come on today's show. We'll be right back.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy this morning to have a young man on the show with me that I've known probably just about since he was born. He and my son Jacob went through school together, and that is my buddy Daniel Hill. And Daniel has come back in from Houston.
Yes, sir.
And Daniel, I saw Daniel's mom the other day out in town, and lovely lady who I've known for years and years as well, and she told me Daniel was coming home. And Daniel is a writer. Daniel works with young people.
Yes, sir.
Daniel is involved in well, we'll get into that, the ministry.
Yes, sir. Men's ministry in Houston,
Men's ministry in Houston, Texas.
Yes, sir.
And this is your what book? Third, second, fourth?
It's probably the sixth one.
Sixth
yes,
book
sir.
Daniel's written, and we had him on the show probably 12 years ago?
A long time ago.
Long
yes,
time
sir.
ago when
yes,
he had written his first book, and I'm so excited to have Daniel back here today, and tell us, tell it.
Oh,
tell it, man.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Tell it. And what I just want to say, this guy looks good. He's strong. Look at that wonderful, beautiful smile. And
thank you very much.
Tell us about your journey and how you got to where Daniel Hill is right now.
Well, I tell everybody the same thing. It was like the Lord took me down to Houston because I was not going to Houston because it was too hot. I was not going to Houston.
It is hot in Houston,
yes, sir.
isn't it?
But I remember a friend told me, she was like, hey, Daniel, there's job opportunity in Houston. I was like, I'm from Tennessee. I'm raised in Tennessee. I'm going to die in Tennessee. But then she was like, no, we need to come. So then I start praying, of course, always praying. And the Lord kept sending me signs to go to Houston. And as soon as I got down there and flew down there, it just felt like home. It was the weirdest feeling, but I was lost driving, but it just felt like I was at home. So I stayed down in Houston. It was rough at first, like, car issues and all this. But
did you go to college?
Oh, no, I went to college at Tennessee State.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And graduated from Tennessee State.
Yes,
okay.
sir. But
and
yes, sir.
what did you study in
education?
College? Education.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So I've been teaching for 12, 13 years now.
And what kind of classroom do you have?
5th grade, math and science.
5th grade.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some of my favorite teachers in the world were in my 5th grade. That's a time in young people's life where they're on a balance right there. And
yes, sir.
5th grade and 6th grade teachers can make or break that deal.
Yes, sir.
So you're at a perfect place, particularly with young men.
Yes, sir.
To give them guidance to go forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've actually been called, I've been called daddy like 7 times in class because the kids get out and they be like, daddy, and I'm like, no. Can you? But yeah, so yes, sir. We do, let's see, like just different things. Like the school has different performance and stuff to help kids encourage and do stuff like that. Cheerleading, my friend, they have like a men's club at church, and we can always bring money, help donate and stuff like that.
Okay, so how many kids are in your school? How big a school is it?
Yeah, Texas is a little different. There's intermediate, there's elementary, intermediate, where I teach is 5th and 6th, and then there's middle school, 9th grade, then high school. Just in my school in the 5th and 6th, there's 1,000 kids.
1,000 kids in the 5th and 6th grade?
Yes, sir, just 1,000.
Okay, so now my next question is, how many kids do you have in a class? Do y'all have plenty of teachers to where your class size is not huge?
I'm 24 right now, 25. So
well, that's a good size.
Now the other ones, the bilingual at one time, they had 35 5th graders. It was a lot.
Okay, so how many in the 5th and 6th grade, or in that area, how many languages in Houston do you have to deal with?
Just, oh man, who knows? Because you got, we have people from El Salvador, Mexico, then you got Africa, different language, Arabs, and all. It's so many languages. It was like.
So it's a very bilingual
yes,
school.
Yes, sir, variety, yes, sir. Like I have a girl from Vietnamese right now in my class. Yes, sir. But.
So you enjoy what you're doing?
Yes, sir. I love these kids.
That age kid.
Yes,
sir. They're old enough to understand the message, but they're not old enough to talk back to you.
Well, some of them try to, but I mean, saying I'm actually good, so everything's always good with me. Like I took, God always blessed me through it, so I'm good. Yes,
right.
Yes, sir.
So where are these books, My Brother Jesus the Christ? What brought you to write?
I remember when I was in college, it was time I had to quit my job because my mom said, look here, she's like, look here, you done been in college too long, it's time for you to get out. so I couldn't work. So I would sit at home and I would just start writing. And then I would sit back, I'd say a prayer, and then I'd just start writing, and then I'd try to work something. And then the last one, like this one right here, it just, like I said, the Lord always led me. This last one, book, it was over about, I guess, a summer ago, and it had me write about this one. So yeah, that's what it is. Just always the Spirit pushing me.
Okay, and so who do you publish these?
Oh yes, sir. I was telling somebody actually learn. Like I said, he showed me how to make stuff for free to help people learn how to make free because people charge too much. So I show people how to do it on YouTube, how to do it for free, how to publish your own book on Amazon, and how to do everything for free on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where can someone buy these?
They can buy it on my website, which is Mr. MR, then Red, then Dirt.com. I actually got that name because me and my friends were Googling where this name was from, and I tell Homer, if you look, it said Red Rock or Red Dirt. So yeah, I've always named myself Red Dirt.
Mr. Red Dirt.
.com, yes sir.
Mr. RedDirt.com can get you one of these right here. Everybody wants to tell the tale about some Indian chief saying Tula go home, talking to his daughter who was meeting with a brave she wasn't supposed to be meeting with.
Yes, sir.
But it's all about the dirt.
Yes,
isn't
sir.
It?
Yes, it is.
About that red dirt. So you can do that, and to keep up with Daniel. And Daniel, thanks for coming, buddy. And it's
glad to be here.
Know that you're welcome anytime you're back to town.
Thank you very much.
And I'll make sure that Jacob gets to see this.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I want the two of y'all to get together,
yes,
and because y'all played everything from soccer to whatever it was.
We might even play baseball together, I think, for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here.
Let me get in there. Happy Thanksgiving to you,
Same
my
to you.
friend.
Yes, sir.
And know that you're always welcome, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're real proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
See you next time.
Right.
And we'll see you in just a minute.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's family shoe store for over 100 years with a reputation for fashion and personal service. And the tradition continues today. Stop by Clayton's and see our large selection of fine shoes.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman, and this is
Pat Welch, and we're here with segment number 9, which is going to be fine, of Conversations with John and Pat.
I'm the rhymer, Pat.
I'm sorry, excuse me. What do you got on that guitar today, John? That rhymes?
We have a song called "Oh Maud." It's about fishing. When I was young, we had a creek behind our house, and we spent many hours there fishing, swimming in it, and making rafts, building rafts, riding on rafts, and we had the greatest time back there. And I got to say that if I can get through this song with remembering all the words, that's one thing. I think Elvis had that problem too from time to time.
I'm sure.
Not that
Conway Twitty and
not that we're comparing me with them, but anyway, they've had some trouble too. But this is a wordy little song called "Oh Maud." Gonna cut me a cane pole, dig me some worms, make me a hook from a pin. Gonna mosey on back to the fishing hole and try my luck again. Gonna pull out a shoestring and make me a limb line baited with a bumblebee. Gonna catch that big one they call Old Maud down in Caney Creek. Well, Caney Creek runs through our farm, it's not very deep or wide. But that old big one they call Old Maud's found her a place to hide. Gonna make me a bobber from a sewing spool, a stringer out of baling wire. Catch me some crickets in a holler log and put them in a mason jar. Gonna turn up a rock and look for a crawdad, find me a helgie mite. Gonna seine me some minnows through a burlap sack, Old Maud's got an appetite. I sneak up the bank and I see Old Maud swimming in the noonday sun. I throw my line in next to her to watch my bobber run. She nibbled on the minnows and wiggly worms, crickets and helgie mites. Then I caught that pinched her on the nose, and I feel Old Maud strike. She stretched my line and she bent my pole as I pulled her to the shade. Then a snap, pop, my cane pole broke and Old Maud swam away. I stood on the bank and I cussed Old Maud, but I made her a promise then. I'll buy me a store-bought rod and reel, and I'll be back again. Mr. Osteen, the principal over at East Junior High School. This jacket back here is an East Junior High jacket. Middle school jacket. Oh, well, that's East Junior High, but we changed. We reorganized and became the middle school. And Mr. Osteen was from Caney Springs, outside of Chapel Hill, and he used to give me information when I was writing that song, a little thing about helgie mites and about this and that. So I just wrote it about Caney Creek. Never fished in Caney Creek before. but I just felt like it belonged in Caney Springs.
You've taken me, John, out to the Caney Creek area on some of our Chapel Hill romps at times.
Yeah, they got rock quarries over there now quite a bit.
Well, it would have been a great place for a rock quarry. I've never seen such a rocky farming area.
Yeah.
Mr. Osteen was tough by necessity. You couldn't farm that farm.
To be able to make a living on a piece of rock, you have to be a pretty good farmer.
Right.
But we could
was Claude Osteen
the pitcher? He was one of the pitching rotation of the 1965 championship Dodgers.
Right.
And
now they were
Sandy
cousins?
Koufax, they were first cousins.
Okay.
Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, they lost their first 2 games. And then Claude, we called him Mudcat. Mudcat was his name. But he won the 3rd game, and then Don Drysdale and Koufax were able to win their next games, and they went on to win the series. But Mr. Osteen, he's saying, Claude, he was our bat boy. He's older than Claude, and Claude was a youngster. And I tell you what, those boys could really play baseball, though, Mr. Osteen and his 3 brothers.
Mr. Osteen was a really good athlete.
He was a good athlete.
I think I've told you, I went to a Wrestling Hall of Fame banquet for the state of Tennessee one time, and a gentleman was inducted that had some Tullahoma ties. In fact, his son taught art here, Joe Black Hayes. Yeah. And his family, each of the recipients had a table where they had mementos and so forth. And Coach Hayes had a lot of MTSU annuals out, and he helped with football. He was the head coach in wrestling. They had a little wrestling team, I think it was non-scholarship. And but he had the annuals out. Mr. Osteen was a starting guard. He couldn't have been but about 5'7", could he, John? He was a short man.
He was quick.
Oh,
he was quick.
And he wrestled, and he played baseball. And in the wrestling picture, they had him just in kind of like knickers with stripped from the waist up.
Yeah.
And he looked like a fire hydrant. Yeah. I mean, he was built
I'll tell you a little
Charles
story
Atlas.
About Milner Carden. Milner ran track at MTSU, and they knew each other.
And coached at East.
And Milner sometime would come over to East, and he said, I think I'm just going to whip you today. So he'd jump on Mr. Osteen's back, and Mr. Osteen's glasses would be like this, sideways on his head. But he would come on top, and he'd put Milner down on his back. We don't. Milner's passed away. We shouldn't talk about him this way. But he'd be awful. He'd be awful proud to be mentioned.
That's right.
And we're going to Rotary Day, and we always think about him when we go to Rotary because he was a Rotary member with us.
Right.
But Mr. Osteen was just a grand guy. Oh, talking about Milner Carden, there's a story I'd like to tell you about when they had this year. They had the class of 65. It was last year. They had the class of 65 reunion of Tullahoma High. And Milner and Martha, they came while he was still living back that time. And that had
been when he first, Coach Carden had just been sent to the high school and started a track program.
I'm sure that's right. Yeah. I'm sure that's probably about the time. Yeah. He might have, he was. He was at high school, I'm sure, at that
Which
time.
would have followed a great time of him coaching at East.
But he was a coach at East and knew some of these kids as an East coach, and then he knew the West kids, a lot of them. But anyway, Tommy Gillum, my friend, he's told me it's all right to tell this. Tommy Gillum sees Coach Carden at the reunion. He says, "Hello, Coach." He says, "Hello, Tommy. You was the best player I ever had." He's talking about football when he coached at East. Tommy said, "But Coach, I played at West." "That's what I mean, Tommy. You was the best player I ever had." But those are great times, and we're always a pleasure to mention Milner Carden, Mr. Osteen. Fond memories we have of both of them.
Right. I'm looking for a segue to another story, John. I believe I've just hit it. You were talking about East and so forth. At West, towards the end of Coach Carden's time, they had a Bobby Newby had come to, and he was a great baseball player. I think he may play a little minor league. baseball, and did a great job at West, and then he went to TPS and had a state championship football team. He went to Dyersburg from there, and then he finished in Warren County, had some great teams there. But I found a picture of one of his last teams at West, and Kenny Banks was in the bottom row, which makes me think of a story, and I hope we don't get cut off.
We might if you don't hurry.
Well, Kenny and his brother Randy were pretty good roustabouts when they'd been 12, 13 or so, something like that. And their dog came up missing. They lived out on White Oak Street around Highland Baptist. And they was just heartbroken. Searched the neighborhood over on the west side of town for that dog and couldn't find it. But Kenny finally remembered after about a week that Mr. Banks had L.E. Banks, his initials on it, and phone number on the collar. So he thought maybe the pound has picked up our dog. So they called and said, sure enough, the dog was there. Described it and said, yeah, it's here. And said, well, what's it say on the collar? And said, well, it says L.E. Banks and phone number. And he said, well, you never called. And they said, well, we meant to, but if you come down and by the way, you need $21.25 or something, which would have been like $300 in or something. They had to take up mass collection around the neighborhood to bail the dog out. But they got the dog, had a tearful reunion, and came home just really pleased. But as the night went on, they got madder and madder and madder about him, taking that dog and holding it, not calling them. So they waited about 1 o'clock in the morning and got a bunch of tools and snuck out of the house and went down to the pound and cut a hole about 3 foot by 3 foot in the chain link wire and said about 50 dogs hit that thing. And I asked Randy, what did the scene look like? He said, well, every dog hit full speed with a big smile on his face. He said, it looked like a scene from a Walt Disney movie. And they both said that we could tell that story, so I guess we're all free.
We're all right.
We better shut her down for segment 9, and it was fine. This is Conversations with John and Pat. We're out.
Let's see ya.
Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mate. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I'm always excited to have Lyle Russell on the set with me from Tullahoma Parks and Recreation. As always, I know you got stuff going on.
Yes, thanks for having me. It's always fun to be here.
It's great to have you here, and I appreciate all you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope everybody else does too.
What's the biggest thing coming up?
Well, obviously Thanksgiving. Everybody likes to eat,
yeah.
Right? But right after Thanksgiving, this is our, if you can believe this now, we're now into year 4 of doing our Lunch and Learn program.
That's obviously gone really well.
Yeah, it's been really good. We've had some really good speakers, some really good topics, and this next one that's coming up on December 4th, it's Wednesday the 4th this month.
Yeah.
So doing it early to try and beat the holidays and people traveling for those that want to come see it. But our speaker this month is actually somebody y'all have had on the show before. Her name is Dr. Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
Not Elizabeth Taylor.
Not the glamour queen.
not that one. But she has written a couple of books now on Camp Forest. Her newest one just came out. It's called Voices of Camp Forest in World War II. And she's done a lot of interviews and research and information collecting. Yeah, and she's put it together into a book. And I haven't got a copy yet, but I'm going to be getting one that day
I
to
need to get
read
a copy of that. Say the title again.
It's called, let me make sure I get it right, Voices of Camp Forest During World War II.
During World War II.
Yeah. So it's going to be...
and she's going to be at the Lunch and Learn, so people, right?
Yes. And my understanding is she's bringing some books, so if you want to pick up a copy, you can get it signed.
And tell everybody where you do Lunch and Learn in case they're not familiar.
Yeah, sure. We do Lunch and Learn at D.W. Wilson Community Center here in town. So the easiest way to find it, look for the pool.
Look for the pool.
If you know where the big pool is, we're in the building right behind that. But yeah, this is our 4th year now of doing Lunch and Learns, and it's been really exciting. We're excited to have her, and the neat thing is it's local. This is stuff that's happened right here in town.
It's amazing what has gone on in this region.
Yeah.
It really is.
And if you're interested in local history, I mean, you could argue, I guess, that Tullahoma may not be what it is today without Camp Forest being where it was.
I would think not. It wouldn't be the eclectic city that it is.
Oh, very much
town.
so.
I can't call it really a city, I don't guess. But, but there are people here from all over the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because of Camp Forest and things that have happened beyond that.
Well, yeah, and some of the folks who have been here for a while may know some of these stories, or may even know some of the people that she's talked to about putting this book together.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't read it yet. I've only heard about it, but everyone who's read it so far said it's really, really interesting, really good book.
I'm sure it is. There's so much history here, and the fact that somebody's gone to all the trouble to pull it all together, that's wonderful.
Right. I know when I worked out there, it was neat to see it. I got to see it behind the scenes in a few cases, and to go through some of the parts of the woods out there where the old ruins, the basements and foundations of the old POW cabins, or the nurses' dormitories, and things like that. To see where these things were, and to see some of the old roads that are back there behind the golf course where I used to work.
What is back there?
Yeah, there's some neat stuff. But now don't go back there, because they will not like that if you just show up and walk back there.
I always wondered, are there any landmines or anything like that?
Well, they do
have
have the signs up that say possible unexploded ordnance, but the folks that take care of that do a phenomenal job. So
I remember a lot that went on during the Second World War, the training. They would come down to our farm and do maneuvers on the farm. And my mother worked at somewhere in Manchester, and at night she would often come home in a blackout convoy.
Oh yeah.
And it was fascinating. My sister and I used to go out and dig up foxholes.
Oh yeah.
Where they'd bury stuff after they did their maneuvers or whatever.
I don't think you want to go digging out there though right now, because you never know what you might find.
This was on the farm. We weren't
on the farm. I got you.
Okay. December 4th.
Yes, Wednesday, December 4th. It's going to start. We're going to start lunch at about 11:45, and the program will start right at noon.
Okay.
So if you want to call and make a reservation, just give us a call at the center.
How much is lunch?
It's $9 for the lunch and the program.
You can't beat that.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
a great
try to
deal.
make it good.
But
so.
you do need reservations, and there's the phone number to call for reservations.
Yeah, just give us a
on
call,
December
and we'll be
4th.
glad to get you on the list.
And
when
December
I checked it.
4th is a very important holiday. I mean, isn't that an important day? Isn't that D-Day?
Trying to think. Well, it is.
Yeah.
And then coming up that weekend is also another, holiday, December 7th.
December 7th,
Pearl
right.
Harbor Day. So the timing of this worked out really well. It's kind of iconic in that
It's a wonderful
regard.
thing to do. So what else is happening?
Well, obviously New Year is coming up here in another month. We've got a couple of programs to round out the year, but we're going to be starting some new ones next year. I don't have a lot of them finalized yet, so I'm not ready to announce all of them, but a couple of the really good ones we're going to have. This is one I'm personally interested in because I like to write and I'm a big reader, and I know my son is a big reader. The Blanham Library has an adult writers group, and we're going to do we're going to do a spin-off of that.
Spin-off on that.
Yeah,
That's
we're going to
good.
do a teen writers group. The group at the library is set up for 18 and up, so we're going to do a group in conjunction with them at the community center for 13 to 18.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to see
And so
if.
are you encouraging any particular kind of thing to write about, or they just can write about whatever they
can
like?
write about whatever they want, and kind of the idea will be is we'll have a group of peers. It'll be other teens and a couple of adult guides that will you can bring your work, you can read it out loud. We'll be glad to evaluate it and give you feedback, give you some critical feedback on that, and
I think it's often hard to share what you write.
Oh yeah.
And so you're going to do it probably in a situation that will make that more comfortable.
Yes,
to
exactly.
share your original work, because you're often afraid somebody will laugh at you, or
sure.
they'll not accept it. And I think that's a beautiful thing to do.
Yeah, no, this will be set up in a very positive and encouraging type of environment to, even if you're not a good writer, in this teen age range, even if you're not a good writer, we still would like to have them come to the group because you learn a lot just by listening and critiquing other people's work.
And sometimes I think just the sharing of what you're feeling and putting it on paper helps you in life.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. So we were trying to look for some programs that gave a creative outlet.
So when are y'all starting this?
We're going to start it in January. The date's going to be announced a little bit later. We're trying to find a good night of the week that works for the majority of folks that can make it. So we're working towards that one. We're also going to be doing a lot more of outdoor programming this year. We're going to do some more guided hikes out at Short Springs. And Short Springs gets a pretty big crowd already.
Right.
So we don't want to necessarily inundate it. But at the same time, that's an amazing resource that we have not even 10 minutes outside of town.
I know it is an amazing resource, and people need to take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, we want to take people out there and show them the waterfalls and show them the proper way to go out and hike and not destroy things, and just how to enjoy it and see what's out there.
And not throw your trash as you go by.
Yes, we prefer that they don't throw their trash out.
And I think it takes a certain amount of schooling and to understand that the beauty is there, but when you start putting garbage in it, it's not there anymore.
Yeah. Well, this past year, I'm working on completing my Tennessee Naturalist certification.
Great.
And I want to put that to work for the folks that use our programs and use our parks. And take them out there and show them some of the cool things that we have that they may not have known was even out there.
We're so fortunate to have you working the way you do. You're wonderful. You're on top of everything, and we're running out of time, so you're going to have to come back to finish up. Lyle
Anytime.
Russell, folks. Thanks a lot.
Always
We'll
a
be back.
pleasure. Thank you.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Right, my son and my daughter-in-law, Jacob and Cindy Gray, Rooster and the Red Maiden, are going to have a show at South Jackson Civic Center on the 20th and 21st. It is Movie Tunes, and so you can get in touch with South Jackson and find your tickets there. Here's a little example of what you might see.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford of Winchester. Check out the 2018 Ford F-150 as low as $34,739. That's Russell Barnett Ford on 41A in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and there's one thing I always tell people is no matter how difficult life gets, you always have hope. And this morning, I have hope from the Chamber of Commerce here to tell us about that Christmas parade and all the other wonderful things.
Yes, we do. We have our 63rd annual
63
Tullahoma Christmas Parade that's sponsored by Sam McNabb Automotive, coming up on Friday, December 6th at 7 p.m. And the theme is Santa's Workshop on Jackson.
On Jackson, and I am only in Tullahoma. Could this happen? Probably. And I think it is one of the greatest things in the world. The marshal.
The Grand Marshal.
The Grand Marshal of the Christmas Parade is Mike Finn.
That's right. We're very excited to celebrate Mike, and we've received such positive feedback from the community about that selection, and that's when you know that you really made the right choice.
Right. And Mike is one of the great supporters of the Tullahoma High School football program and all the athletics at the high school, and travels with most of the teams, and just is a wonderful man, and he is extremely excited about this. And
he is.
What a great gift. That's a wonderful gift that's been given to him.
We are very,
and
very excited.
He's a gift that's been given to the whole community.
That's right.
So
That's right.
thank you for doing that.
And our theme was selected by James Fuller.
Mm-hmm.
And so James is on our board and very active with the Chamber, and he also is one of Santa's official helpers. And so
James is Santa.
One of Santa's.
I need to go visit with him.
Yes. And so so James gets a free VIP ride on the Santa float. Which he's been fortunate enough to have one of those the last few years. And so
is the Santa float tall enough for him?
The Santa float's actually going under some minor renovations this year, thanks to Russ Barrett and his team.
Good.
They are making a few updates and tweaks, and just because it is the house that Santa rides in is getting older. Aren't we all?
Well, yeah,
and it needed a little work.
Everything needs to have a little tweaking done from time to time.
Yes, and so again, we're very grateful to Russ and his team, and we're grateful to Rodney's Body Shop. They're the title sponsor of the Grand Marshal reception, which normally both of those events take place on the same night, but this year we have decided to separate them because we understand that everyone the night of the parade, they're getting their children ready and they're trying to get to their float and they have things to do, and so the turnout wasn't as we would hope to celebrate our Grand Marshals in the past. So we're hoping that by separating them.
Now, when is that going to be?
It's going to be Thursday, December 5th from 5 to 6 at South Jackson Civic Center. And so that's where we'll do the tree lighting.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
See, you brought me information
yes.
that I need to know.
Yep, they're going to be 2 completely separate events this year.
Very good. And I think that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because even for me, because I would go over and film that,
yes.
and then I've got to hustle across town
yes.
with the streets blocked to get back over here to the studio to be able to make sure everything's right, because we do that live.
Mm-hmm.
That show is done live, and so everything has to be operating properly for that to go live. And I would have to go all the way down to Cedar Lane, and come back around by City Hall and go through the alleys and everything, because the streets are blocked.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand, and I think that is a very wise choice.
Well, thank you.
To do that the night before.
We're very excited. There will be cookies and cocoa, and Santa's going to be making an appearance. And so,
folks, Santa's coming to town early just for Tullahoma and for Mike Finn.
That's right.
And that's great. That's a great thing. Hey, there's something else. We have a little time left that I think we need to talk about, and that is this Saturday is Shop Small.
It is Shop Small Saturday.
And that is where you have an opportunity to go in your local community and buy local.
That's correct. And at the Chamber, we support Shop Local year-round. And so, but we definitely heavily encourage it during the holidays. And we actually have come up with a new program at the Chamber office. So we have 2 very nice gift baskets that we're going to give away. And it's a social media-driven campaign. So while people are out shopping, they can use our hashtag, and that gets them an entry. And then we're going to pull from the hat, and 2 lucky winners are going to get some really great baskets.
Really good stuff.
Really good stuff.
And I'd like to make my pitch here for this. I know we live in a social media, media-driven, technologically driven society. But if you are involved in any type of nonprofit, why would you spend your money on an internet site from some company that when you need to go ask for gifts for your nonprofit, I don't think Amazon's going to send you anything.
Nope.
I don't think a printing company from out there in cyberspace is going to give you any money to buy an air conditioner for a Gold Star mother of a veteran. A lot of our big corporate stores don't participate. The people who participate are local merchants.
That's right.
That we need to support. I saw something on the Today Show this morning, because they were promoting that as well, that 76% of every dollar spent with a local merchant stays in the community.
That's true.
Remember that when you go to try to find something, and particularly this Saturday when we're shopping small. Look first in Tullahoma.
That's right.
Look second in Coffee County, and then go do what you need to do. But at least try, because these are the people who give back to the community and who live here and who pay their taxes here.
That's right.
And spend their money here with other merchants. And most all of them are members of the Chamber of Commerce.
That's right.
So this girl right here is doing a wonderful job, she and her staff. If you need anything from them at any time, they're on the corner.
That's right.
Right downtown Tullahoma. They have access to every kind of email, every kind of website, every kind of Twitter, pitter, clatter and tatter. Y'all do it all.
We try to stay connected.
They stay connected. And we want to thank you personally, you, for what you've done and bringing that beautiful smile to our Chamber of Commerce, and knowing that she's there, we'll always have hope.
That's right.
We'll see you next time.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Thank you, John. Thank you, camera lady. Her other one's not here with us today. Hope she's having a good trip wherever she is. And thank you, Mark and Clay, for sponsoring this Millennium Moment. You're a great company and do good work, and we're grateful that you share that with the public and with us. Today, I'd like to share something that's dear to everyone's heart, and that is a kind of a wrap-up on Memorial Day. You know, we had so many wonderful friends and families that took part in World War II and Korea and Vietnam, and the war years, 1941 to 1946, when the big Camp Forrest was here that trained so many wonderful soldiers. We thought they were old men, but the truth of the matter was they were just a year or two older than we were. They were right out of high school, and they were great people. And I thought I'd share with you a moment today about the USOs and the servicemen's clubs here in Tullahoma. And way down on South Jackson Street on the site of the Tullahoma Utilities building was a USO building. On the corner of Carroll and South Jackson Street, where the City School Administration building is today, was the Catholic USO. And the Traveler's Aid and the Jewish USO was on the in a building, the old Norman Davis home, where it's now the McCord and Henry law offices at the corner of Moore and North Jackson Street. The American Legion bought the USO on South Jackson Street when it became available and surplus in 1946, and moved the Camp Forrest Library into there, and it was used for a lot of clubs, for functions and meetings and dances and that sort of thing. 1949 it burned to the ground, and then the American Legion met at the old Traveler's Aid Jewish Community Center that was the brick building that had been the Norman Davis home. Later the Legion, of course, built on North Jackson Street. And in the meantime, one of the USO buildings still stands here in Tullahoma, and it's in this 200 block of West Grundy Street, right behind the Tullahoma Municipal Building. It was the Protestant USO building. It's still standing there. It became surplus and is now being used by a church. But it was a scene of a whole lot of activities, and the picture that I hold now is the first contingent of World War II veterans that had gotten their points and had come home, and this was in November of 1945, and the veterans of World War I were hosting with the American Legion a dinner for them on November the 11th at the USO building on West Grundy Street. And such notable people that are still with us, many of them have gone to their great reward, but such notables, as you can see on the front row kneeling in the white shirt, is our dear friend Keithley Wright, and such people as Joe Buck Camel, that's not with us anymore, but Barney Welch and Guy Gowan and Howard Peck and Earl Glover, those fine people that have served in the Navy or an Army or a branch of the military service, they got their points and had come home to their families and their friends and had gathered for a November 11th, used to be called Armistice Day, but now I think Congress, I don't know what year, which wouldn't make any difference, but combine all of the Veterans Day, Armistice Day celebration in what is now called Veterans Day on November the 11th. There used to be parades, and I know the school children would get out and march to town, and there would be a band there and speaking in Davidson Park. Sad to say, that time is gone, because even this past weekend for Memorial Day, many people let it go by without even thinking about it. Thank goodness many of the veterans did have the forethought and the sacrifice to go out and place flags on our departed veterans at the cemeteries here. Some 2,000 were placed at the graves, and they made that great sacrifice for us and for freedom. For that, we're really grateful. Now, upcoming in next 2 or 3 weeks, I believe June the 14th, 2 weeks from today, will be Flag Day. And I would like to remind all of our citizens to think about Flag Day, the meaning of it, and we're going to show some things that I think will be interesting to you, one of which is the flag that flew over the post headquarters at Camp Forrest. So that and other things we'll be looking forward to, because this is not the end of the story. There's a lot more to come. Thank you, and have a great day.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford of Winchester. Check out the 2018 Ford F-150 as low as $34,739. That's Russell Barnett Ford on 41A in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, I'm back up here with my buddy Peggy Burton, and we had a pretty good show today. We had all kinds of stuff.
There's a lot of things happening.
Don't you just love Lyle?
I do love Lyle.
Lyle is just an outstanding fella, and you know this pen I have right here that Lyle made. He knows I'm a writer and that I like pens, and Lyle made that pen for me, and it's out of a. That's the copper of a rifle shell.
Oh, you're kidding.
And it loads. See right here, there's a gun barrel as a thing, and it opens like a breech loader.
That's amazing. He
and
is,
that's something
he's a fabulous
I told him
man.
he needs to have a lunch and learn on that.
Yeah, he does.
So, no, it's creative around here.
Civic choir. That's next week, right?
That's the week after, the day after the Christmas parade,
and
which is a week from this Friday.
And they're doing it Saturday and Sunday.
I don't know.
Somebody told me that, and I've not heard that before.
I don't know that they're doing it 2 days.
I don't either.
But they're doing it.
I'm going with Saturday.
Hey, and I want you to remember to go buy couches if you need a present for somebody coming into town, family. We've got our Tullahoma, because Tullahoma is home. Tullahoma, where I call home t-shirts. Hopefully these are short sleeve in a blackberry, and we have, hopefully today, the long sleeve will be in, and they're in a Merlot color.
Oh, good.
So you can get these shirts for your Christmas gifts, send them to family out of town, whatever you want to do. You can go to Couches and pick those up.
You know that Tullahoma is the only Tullahoma in the world?
That's it. And as Daniel told us this morning, it means red dirt.
Oh, I didn't realize. I heard him talking about red dirt.
It means red dirt. Hey, we're out of here.
Oh, okay.
This red dirt crew is out of here right now. See you next time. Happy Thanksgiving.